book, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this judge allows this preposterous procedure, and then in the oral argument, she basically says there's no such thing as public access television. She thought it was a ludicrous concept. Well, what do you mean people could go on television? Well, then everybody could do that. That was her comment. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's public access television. You give everybody a fair shot. You know, if there's 10,000 people that show up for the access, well, then I guess you have to have a lottery or some other process to decide who gets what. But the point is everybody's got a chance to do it. It's open. It's access. Public access. And she didn't even understand it. It's like she never even heard of it before. And you're saying, you know, and I'm pointing out that there's federal law and there's state law, and she don't want to hear about that. And at the time, you know, in a claim, you're not supposed to have all your evidence. I mean, that's what you present at trial. And so I didn't have a copy of the franchise agreement with Patriot Media and the town, because Patriot Media hadn't provided it to me, even though I requested it. And so I was still waiting for the town to produce it. But anyway, in that agreement, it explicitly points out this stuff. I mean, it's just so blatant, so obvious. So I got three laws that basically say now, the state has also passed one. I got a federal statute, I got state law, and I got a franchise agreement, all pointing out this is a public access channel and that I have a right, like everybody else, the same equal access. As long as I am not obscene and indecent, I have a right to put this show on the channel. And but this idiotic judge, this ignorant judge, in spite of, you know, the facts, in spite of what I've said, did no searching. You know, she's obligated to be so certain when you do something through the summary judgment process or through this expedited process, and she's even doing this super expedited process. There's an obligation on the judge to be damn sure, you know, to be thoroughly informed, to be solid on the solid ground. You know, no chance of a mistake, basically. I mean, this is basically a throwing a baby out with the bathwater issue. I mean, you're not allowed to make a mistake. You're not allowed, you know, to be reckless, you know, because you've got to preserve the baby and make sure you're just getting rid of bathwater. And that's the judge's obligation. If the judge is going to allow this, they've got to make sure no babies, you know, get ground up, get thrown out. And so she did completely opposite of that. You know, she cherished the bathwater and stuck a knife in the head of the baby. And I mean, how do you even talk about the evil that represents? This is a superior court judge, and so I paid my $200 and she threw my claims in the garbage can. It comes down to that simple. Constitutional claims. I'm claiming a violation of my fundamental constitutional rights, and this bitch throws it in the garbage can. I mean, what is that? A superior court judge. I mean, I have no obligation to respect her, or respect her authority, or respect her position, anything about this. Because this is so, you can't violate this kind of the core existence of a human being. This is my humanity we're talking about. That's what the Constitution's preserving. It's a document about civilization. It's a document about respecting the fundamental core thing that makes a human what they are, their intellect, their being, their individual personality. And she is spitting on me, and I'm obligated to have some sort of respect? No, I'm not. All right? I mean, I curse her to hell. I mean, she is evil incarnate in terms of the extent of the political disaster. I mean, she is the worst possible disaster for the United States Constitution. A judge this bad, serving on a high court. I mean, there's no possible way we can tolerate that. There's no possible way you can call yourself an American and say that's okay. It's okay for completely ignorant and arrogant and integrity-less judges to sit on our high courts. I mean, if there's going to be one place that we're going to demand integrity, if there's one place we're going to demand intelligence, that's the place. I mean, okay, we can let the politicians are liars and crooks. Well, okay, we can accept that, because guess what? People vote for those assholes. But these court justices have immunity once they're on these courts. And they have all the power and authority. They call all the shots. And if we can't, you know, we can't demand a minimum of integrity, we own nothing. I mean, our whole Constitution is dependent on them. I mean, you know, there's no more responsible position for a human being to have than to be responsible for justice. I mean, think about it. What else is more important than justice in human existence? I mean, what is more important? Defining your rights as a human being, defining accountability and preservation of civility and decency and the mutual respect that is required to have a civilized society. I mean, what can be more important than the people who get to manage that? The people who decide, you know, who lives and who dies, basically, who has freedom and who doesn't. I mean, there's nothing more important than this. And a person of this low character to serve on a court, I mean, it's disgusting. I don't know, what words can I say? I mean, to be subjected to this obscenity, you know, to spend this money, to work this, you know, to write these papers, to diligently follow the rules of procedure, and then to be thoroughly screwed like this by someone of this, you know, just an arrogant bitch. That's all she is. I mean, of the lowest character.